everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lottie. Everything here is made with a Lottie love. Today I'm going to show you how to make this scrapbook. This is repurposed from good old Amazon packaging. You know how much I love to use these. They are just so sturdy and handy to use. So this is the scrapbook. These are just examples of where things go. But in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the book and the pages. So some of them have got pockets. You're going to be hiding, binding. The best thing about this book is it's no sew. This is a no binding with needle and thread book. And I will show you how we do that later. But this doesn't have to be a scrapbook. This can be, you can make pretty notebooks from this. For example, here I'm just starting to make, look at this beautiful wrapping paper. I'm just starting to make a junk journal, which again will become a tutorial at some point. And I have made another one. Oh, look. It's my die cut book again. So this is for the bigger die cuts that wouldn't fit in the smaller books. So this one is the same size as the scrapbook I'm going to make. We've got the boxes. I've got stamps, stencil and die cut kit there. I just haven't finished popping that together properly yet. I've got frames and pop out frames and all sorts of things in here which were too big to be putting in my other die cut books. So the books I'm going to show you today, they do not have spines as such. They are just fold over ones. I will make another tutorial for you that shows you how to make one with a spine if you prefer one like this, for example. It would just need a little tweak on how to make it a no-sew binding book. So yeah, let's get crafting. And just a quick update, he came home, my boy came home. He's safe and he's lovely and no scrapping, no fighting. When you were just on a, what do we say? You went on a jolly. You went on a jolly for 3 full days. Okay. So he's home, he's safe. So that's just the update. Okay, so back to the crafting. I have had to do this one as a voiceover because while I was making these, Toby was missing and I wasn't exactly feeling the most entertaining of people. So I'm doing a voiceover now because there was lots of snivelling and whatever else. But, you know, like I say, he's back safe. He's fine. So you are using the A1 size Amazon packaging and you are just going to trim off the edges around the 3 sides, keeping the fold on the left side, just trimming off the little edges to make it all neat and tidy. Then we are going to get some 12 by 12 paper. It doesn't quite fit, but there are techniques I use here which I'll show you in a minute to make it fit, but also you know, redesigning things and whatever else. So I suggest leaving about 1 inch on either end, and then it's just a case of getting some double-sided tape and making a good layer of that all over the front of the book. Some people might say this is wasteful, but you want it stuck well for obvious reasons. And then we are just going to place that on top of the 12 by 12 paper, leaving a good even spacing around the edge of the book, pressing that down, making sure it's nice and secure, and then just gently maneuvering the card so that it folds nicely without ripping or breaking. And again, just covering that side of the book with the double-sided tape. I fast forwarded it again because it's a lot of peeling and not the most fun to be watching. So just now pressing that down onto the book and making sure it's nice and smooth and secure on there. Now with the piece of paper I cut off the bottom, that then makes the edge, and you can line it up. And then we're just going to trim it down. Probably should have used a ruler here, but it's not going to be seen, so it's not a problem. And then we are mitering these edges, so a diagonal line up from the box, not too close to the box edge, otherwise you'll have a hole which will show the cardboard through. So as close as you can get, but not too close. And you are just going to miter all four corners, just like so. And once again, with my double-sided tape, which I am desperately running low of now, so I'm going to have to buy some more soon. I'm just going to run that down across the edges of the paper all the way around. And then we are just going to massage the edges over and just kind of get that used to where it's going to sit around the cardboard. Do that all the way around for all four sides. And then you're going to peel off the tape and stick it down. Give it a little helping hand with a burnish, just so that it's nice and straight. And yeah, just removing the tape, and we're going to stick one side down. If we stick the two end sides down first, it kind of looks a bit more tidy, but again, this does get covered up by pages, so it's not the end of the world if you don't do it this way. Just pressing that down nicely so that it's nice and straight on the edges of that cardboard. And there you have it. The outside is done. Now, I've just shown a quick part here that you don't have to use the same card. You can kind of mix it up. And this is actually the one I'm going to use for the scrapbook itself. So I've just added a strip of coordinating paper that goes onto the end. And then what I'm going to do is decorate the front of the book with the coordinating card strips, so it kind of makes sense as to why that's like it is, if that makes sense. So just pressing that down. So that's now the front of the book with the coordinating strip. It's all nice and flush and straight. And so now for the signatures. As this is a scrapbook, I want to use card stock for the pages. But if you're going to make this into a notebook, you just need some white paper or lined paper or whatever paper you want. For the junk journal, I am using a mixture of papers, some coffee dyed, etc. But for the scrapbook, I'm using 12 by 12 cardstock from the works, and I'm just scoring a load of these papers at 9 inches, because then I'm going to make some funky pockets with some I'm going to just trim at 9 inches and just have them as regular pages. So for this one, I am folding in half on the length that was not scored, and then I'm bringing up the scored edge into the just upwards and mitering that down, and give it a good miter on the edge as well. And then these are going to be pockets, so I want to cut it just away from the center, so that it folds nicely, doesn't get in the way of the fold, and so just a slight angle, and we're going to trim off that center edge just like so. And then I got a bit lazy here. I should have used my scoreboard, but I just folded, and that's fine too. I just folded the top over to make it a bit more of a interesting pocket, I guess. So I just mitered that down. I'd say that was about 3/4 of an inch. And the same again on the other side. And just pressing that down, mitering that so that it's nice and flat. And then we're just going to tape those down. And again, using the double-sided tape for the pockets. You can use glue. I think actually in the future I probably would use glue. The tacky glue is great for scrapbooking and junk journal and things like that. So it is my new favourite glue. But for this, I was, like I said, mourning my cat at the time. So I just was using tape. But again, it's not a problem to use tape. But if you put things in these pockets, they can start getting a little bit tacky. So probably is better to use the glue. Anyway, so now I have 2 pockets on either side of those pages. And for the second version of an insert page, I'm once again scoring that up on the 9-inch line that I scored, and then folding that page in half. And for this pocket, it's going to be a diagonal line across. I think I measured 2 inches and just sliced straight across, and then folded it over and cut that to the same on that side. So I'm just cutting an arch into this so that it makes the pocket just seem a bit more obvious that it's a pocket. And I'm doing this freehand, but if you've got a hole punch, that works nicer than what I'm doing here, because I have to go in and correct my arch here. But, you know, it's all part of craft, it's all part of making, so not everything has to be perfect. And also, this is a scrapbook, so we're going to end up putting lots of fun and interesting things all over the pages anyway, so it might not even show up that much. So it's making 2 pockets per pocket. So I think that's quite fun. And I like the contrast of yellow on pink, it's quite nice. And that's another insert done. So we're going to pop 2 together, and we're going to add a plain page. So that again is trimmed at 9 inches, and I'm just folding that in half. Giving it a mitre. And just so there's a bit of variety, I'm going to place that behind one of the folded ones and in between. And again, I'm just folding that one in half. This is a trimmed at 9 inch. And another one. I love the funky colours of this paper. This is going to make a really interesting scrapbook once we get crafting with that one in the next tutorial. That one is, specifically is my favourite. I don't know why. I like the leaves. So another page example. The score at 9, just burnished, folding that in half. And these are just really quick and easy ways of making interesting signatures. So this one, I'm just lining it up with the center line and cutting just straight across. And I'll do the same on the other side. And then we're just going to add a little bit of double tape down one side. Peel that off. Push it up. That makes you a nice pocket. And flip that page over and do it on the other side. So we've got a nice contrast. And again, because you're adding pages in between this, it'll just add some more fun to the scrapbook. Done. So again, mixing it up. Plain signature pages, ones with folds on. And I've made 3 per signature here. So this is how we now bind the book with no sew. So we are going to cut inch strips of scrap paper, and it doesn't matter what colour, doesn't matter if it coordinates or not, because it will all be hidden in the end. So you're going to want 3 strips per signature, and we've got 3 signatures, so you're going to need 9 strips. And then you're going to get one of your signatures, and I'm going to use a clip just to keep things together, because I'm going to use a craft knife to cut through. So about 1/2 inch from the top, you are then going to want to cut 1 inch, just slightly more than 1 inch, so that your card strips come through nicely. So just gently maneuvering your strip through the page, like the pages like that, and you're just going to leave them, leave it like that for now. Again, 1/2 inch from the bottom, cut 1 inch, just over 1 inch hole through all of your signature pages. And see, sometimes it will mess around, but you can easily get the strip through all of your sheets. And then finding the center, and again another inch cut all the way through your signatures. Lovely. And then you are going to do that for all 3 of your signatures. So we'll have a top one, we will have the center one, but 1 minute, you are going to want to cut your strips on the center one in half, but only to the middle of the book. So the inside ones don't have to be cut in half, just the ones that are hanging on the outside. We're going to cut those down the middle in half, and we're going to just bend these over on the opposite sides, each side. So 1 on each side for each of the strips. I hope that made sense. And then you're going to pop all of the other ones on the back. So when we stick this in, you will have the back strips with the back signature strips, and you will have the front strips with the front signature strips. So this is just, I'm showing you roughly how it's going to be, just like that. And then we're just going to get some double-sided tape. And then we're going to peel off the backing of the tape, and we are going to stick the center signature in first. So you will want to peel all of those double-sided tape pieces off, put the ones to the back, and find the center of your cover, and just place your strips on either side. So you can see I haven't covered the inside of the cardboard yet, because that's how we hide the strips and make it a no-sew binding. So again, going to cover the inside strips with tape and secure that in to the inside. Just like this. And don't worry about these inside your books, because we are going to hide the strips inside with more pockets. And again, tape on each of your strips, removing the backing. Sitting that snugly on top and pushing that book cover down and over. Again, inside strips, securing the book in, peeling the tape, sitting that snugly on top, pushing those signatures down together and then squashing the book closed. And there you have all of your signatures in and bound. Then you're going to get a piece of card stock, which measures 1/4 of an inch around shorter than your cover. And just placing that over your strips on both sides. So when you have bound your book, it may have been that some of the pages have slipped slightly. So you are going to want to creatively hide like that. See, you're going to want to creatively hide the binding. And because this is a scrapbook, you can let your imagination go wild. But I'm just going to do some simple things here. So that we are just going to cut a strip of paper that would cover the longer strips. And we are going to fold that in half and cut a curve into, obviously not press fold, we're going to just half that page, cut a curve and tidy that up a bit. You can see I'm not a great wizard with scissors, but it does the job. So, and then I'm thinking just adding some distress ink to the edges to add a bit more excitement to the page, if that's the right word, and just defines a bit more that's at the edge of the pocket. And as you can see on the inside of that page, I have already distressed the edges as well. Now here I didn't trim this strip before I stuck it down, so you can just gently peel that back and trim it down so that you can't see when the pocket is stuck down. And then again, we're just flipping that over and using our double-sided tape, stick that in. So you want to tape down 3 of the sides. And then sticking that in, and then you've got a nice little pocket. Then for the centre page that had shifted, I'm going to take some 6x6 paper from a paper pack, fold that in half, fold it in half again, opening it up, and I'm going to cut a triangle opening this time, just to add different elements to your scrapbook, basically. And then tape down either side. Oh, I used my glue this time, I forgot, yay. So using glue and just running a line down each edge. This tacky glue is really, really strong and quick to dry, so I really, really recommend this one. And I will link that in the description as well. So just closing that up and letting those dry. And I'm going to make 2 more. And then I'm just going to place them inside this book so that they cover that binding. and I'm just going to tape one side first, so when I stick it in, it folds nicely within the page, and I'll do that with the other side after I've stuck that down. I'm doing exactly the same for the other two. And there you have it. 3 little pockets for the centre page of that scrapbook page. So here's a quick run through of all the pages that we have made and covered, and it's all bound and beautiful. And we can then get really creative with our pages when we get to making this into the scrapbook. Those were just a couple of ideas that I came up with. And then with the scraps that I had left over and of the coordinating card, I'm now going to decorate the front of the book. So this is just a real random collage, if you like, of scraps that I've used to decorate the front. I'm just adding some strips here and there. I have a triangle that I cut from one of the inner pages. I'm going to make that into something on the front of the book. So just gluing down some strips onto the squares of scraps. And then here comes the triangle. So I've been messing around a bit with that. So I am going to put a line of glue just down one edge and sticking that over. And we are making just a little pocket for the front of the book, which I believe I showed you at the beginning of this video anyway. So it's going to hold 3 little cards for just random note making, and I just thought it would look really cute. So, and I changed my mind about 20 times before I eventually stuck it down. And then I had found a load of sentiments and was trying each one out and found this one that coordinated nicely with the colours. And when it comes to making the inside pages for the scrapbook, that's going to be a whole nother tutorial, which is coming up soon, as will the junk journal. But as always, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you, and your kind comments. You just all are just so lovely. So thank you ever so much. And as always, I'll see you soon.